Hello and welcome to Azurewala YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss AZ-104 changes on July 28, 2023, which are being announced recently by Microsoft. So we'll be comparing the skills which are going to be measured in new syllabus and what are the skills which are being measured currently. So let's move forward. So we have arranged the skill areas in this table. So these are the old one or existing one, and these are the new ones. So these are going to be the new one, which I can mark new here, and these are the old one. So currently we are on the Microsoft testing these skill areas on this ratio. So the first skill area is manage Azure identities and governance, which is currently is 15 to 20% of contribution in the exam paper, and the same is going to be having 20 to 25%. So there is increase of 5% in this skill area. So there is more emphasis on Azure identities and governance part. Next two part, which are implementation and manage storage, are going to be the same. Deploy and manage Azure compute resources, that contribution of that skill area is also going to be the same. Configuration and manage virtual networking, so this skill area is being reduced by 5%. So there is decrease of 5% here and increase of 5% here. And again, the monitor and maintenance Azure resources 10 to 15% in old syllabus, and new one also 10 to 15%. So these are broadly all the skill area we have covered, and now we are going to have a detailed comparison of both the syllabus. So let's move forward. So here we have arranged the old syllabus on left hand side. This is the old syllabus and this is the new syllabus. This is the first skill area, which is manage Azure identities and governance, which is currently 15 to 20%, and new is going to be 20 to 25%. So now we are going to analyze each and every component here. So first thing in manage an Azure identity and governance is manage Azure AD objects, which is now being changed to manage Azure AD user and groups. So that's objectives are a little bit changed here. Now we are going to compare the bullet points here. So first bullet point is create user and groups, that is also available in the new one as well, so that's checked. Manage license in Azure AD, that is also available in the new one. Create administrative units, which is missing from the new one, so this is marked red, so that's not going to be in the new syllabus now. Manage user and group properties, that is already there in the new syllabus. Manage device settings and device identity, which is now missing from the new syllabus. Perform bulk updates, that is also missing from the new syllabus. Manage guest accounts, that is there. We can consider that manage external account as a guest accounts. And configure self-service password reset, that is changed to configure self-service password reset SSPR. So this is the comparison of the first high level skill sets here in under the manage Azure identity and governance. Now the second one is this was the first one, this section was the first one. Now the second one is here, which is manage access control. So manage access to Azure resources, that is changed to this one. Create custom role based access control RBAC, and Azure AD role. So Azure AD role part is now removed, that's why it is marked red, and remaining is the same, like manage built-in Azure roles is going to take care of this. Provide access to Azure resources by assigning role difference scope, that is mapped to this one. And interpret access assignments, which is mapped to this one. So except this red mark, there is nothing much change or not much changes in this section. Now the third section in manage Azure identities and governance is the manage Azure subscription and governance. So this is going to be third part here. which we are going to compare. So if you see, the main line is the manage Azure subscription and governance is almost same, nothing is changed. Configure and manage Azure policy is mapped to implement and manage Azure policy is the same almost. Configure resource logs, that is talking about resource log here. Apply and manage tags on resources, apply and manage tags and resources on resources is available here. Manage resource groups, that is also in the new syllabus. Manage subscription is also on the new syllabus. Manage cost by using alerts, budgets and recommendation, which is changed to manage cost by using alerts, budgets and Azure advisor recommendation. So this is new thing is added, which is specifically mentioned. And configure management groups, that is also available. So that's the only green part is being changed in this section, the third part of manage Azure identity and governance. So now we will look for the next one, which is implement and manage storage. So we will scroll down and here. So in implement and manage storage, it was 15 to 20%. It is the same, there is nothing changed. Only on the knowledge area, or you can say skill set, we may have some things moved around, so we have marked that yellow. So let's start with configure access to storage. Title is same. Configure network access and storage account is a little bit changed to and added specifically firewall and virtual networks. Rest of the things same. Create and configure storage accounts, which is shifted to different place. So this part is shifted to here under configure and manage storage account. Generate shared access signature token, that is also SAS token is here. Configure storage access policies, that is also available in the new syllabus. Manage access keys, that is also available in new syllabus. Configure Azure AD authentication for storage account, that is removed from the new syllabus. Configure storage encryption, that is moved to configure and manage storage account. So this is available here, so that's why it is marked in yellow. And configure identity based access for Azure files is being added in the new syllabus. So we have covered first part of our implement and manage storage area. So this is the first part, we have compared with the old with new. Now we are going to discuss the second part here. Manage data in Azure storage account. So create import export jobs are now removed, so it is not available in new syllabus. Manage data by using Azure Storage Explorer and AZ copy is here, it is available in the new syllabus. Implement Azure storage redundancy is changed to configure Azure storage redundancy now. And configure object replication is configure object replication available here. And definitely this yellow one has come from the first part, so it's same. So we have covered the second part as well. Only one thing is removed, which is create import export jobs, and some things are shifted from different parts. So now we are going to compare the third part, which is configure Azure files and Azure blob storage. So create Azure file share is there in this, so this is available. Configure Azure blob storage, so in blob storage also available. Configure storage tier, that is also available. Configure blob lifecycle management, that is also available. And new two new items are being added, which is configure snapshot and soft delete for Azure files, that is added. And configure blob versioning also added. So we have compared implement and manage storage skills part 1, 2 and 3. Now we are going to compare deploy and manage Azure compute resource. So let's scroll down. Deploy and manage Azure compute resource was 20 to 25 earlier, and it's 20 to 25 in new one as well. So in both the syllabus, the size or contribution in the exam questions are the same. Now automate deployment and resource by using templates is being changed to automate deployment and resource by using Azure Resource Manager ARM templates or bicep files. So these are new things are being added in the title itself. And now we can go to modify an ARM template is there, and or bicep file is being added to the same one. Deploy a template that is being modified to deploy resource by using ARM template, uh, and or a bicep is added to this. Save deployment as ARM template. This we can map to modify existing ARM template. And the green one, export deployment as ARM template or compiler deployment as bicep file, is newly added to new syllabus. Now we have compared this first part. Now on the second part, this was the first part. Now on the second part we can see create and configure VM is the same, and the manage images by using the Azure compute gallery is being removed from the new syllabus. Configure Azure disk encryption is there. Move virtual machine from one resource group to another is also there, that one. But it is subscription and reason part is added, so two new things are being added here. Manage VM sizes, that is also available in new. Add data disk is being removed, this part, and configure VM network setting is also removed. Configure VM availability option is changed to deploy virtual machines to availability zone and availability set. So deploy and configure VM scale set is changed to deploy configure an Azure virtual machine scale sets. So we have compared the second part as well. Now let's move to third part of deploy and manage Azure computer resources. So let's scroll down. And we are in third part now. This is the third part. Create and configure container. So configure sizing, scaling for Azure container instances, that is available, and Azure container registry is being added to this part. So this we can map to this one. Configure container group and Azure container instances, we can map to the same one. Create and configure Azure container apps, that is mapped to new one. And if you notice AKS part, Azure Kubernetes services are totally being removed from new syllabus. So we do have manage sizing and this part, scaling of the containers including Azure container instance and Azure container apps. So AKS part is totally removed from the new syllabus. And now let's compare the fourth item or fourth skill sub item here. In this case, create an app service plan, which is now changed to provision an app service plan. Configure scaling setting in app service plan, that is also changed here. Create an app service, that is mapped here. Create an secure an app service, that is changed to configure certificate TLS part. Configure custom domain name, and that we can say map an existing custom DNS. And configure backup for an app service, backup part is also covered in the new one. Configure a network setting, that is also there. Configure deployment, that is also there. So on fourth sub skill set in deploy and manage Azure compute resource is also covered and compared. So next one is configure and manage virtual networking. So we'll move to next. Let's quickly move. So a question contribution in exam is reduced for configure and manage virtual networking. from 20 to 25 to 15 to 20, so 5% reduced. Let's compare it quickly. Configure virtual networks is changed to configure and manage virtual networks in Azure. Create and configure virtual network and subnets, that is available in new syllabus. Create and configure virtual network peering is also available. Configure private and public IP addresses, that is also available. Configure user defined network routes, that is also available. And configure Azure DNS is moved to the third part here. So first part we have compared, first one is done. The second part is configure secure access to virtual network. So title is same. Create and configure network security group, NSG is there, and application group is there, so both are here. Evaluate effective security rules, rules also mentioned here. Implement Azure Bastion, that is also there. Configure service endpoint, so configure service endpoint for Azure platform as PaaS, and configure private endpoints, that is also here. So this is also compared. Second part is also being compared. There's not much change in the second part. If you see, even on the first part there is not much changes, is almost same. Only one thing, for configure Azure DNS is moved to third part. So in third part we can see configure load balancing, so DNS part is moved to this one. And in configure load balancing, name resolution is being added on the title. So configure Azure application gateway, it's here. I think this configure Azure application gateway is being removed from new part, so I don't see this one here. Configure an internal and public load balancer, that is available. Troubleshoot load balancing, that is also available. So I forgot to mark it in red, so keep in mind. Application part, application gateway part is also not available in new one. And furthermore, in this part, if you see configure and manage virtual networking part, the monitor virtual networking is totally removed from here. So the next part is monitor and maintain Azure resources, which is the same, nothing is changed in size of exam contribution. So monitor resource by using Azure monitor is same. Configure and interpret matrices, the same. Configure Azure monitor logs is available in the new one as well. Query and analyze log available. Set up alerts and action, that is also available. Set up alert and action group, alert and processing, so this is also available. Configure monitoring of virtual machines, storage account and network by using VM Insight, that is also available. And new thing is added is use Azure network watcher and connection monitor, so this thing is newly added in new syllabus. So only one thing is added in part 1 of monitor and maintain Azure resources. In second part, if we can see here, implement backup and recovery is the same. Okay, create an Azure recovery service vault, that is also in the new syllabus. Create an Azure backup vault, that is also available. Create and configure backup policy, that is also available. Perform backup and restore operations by using Azure backup, that is also available. Configure Azure site recovery and Azure resources, that is also available. Perform failover to secondary region by using Azure site recovery, that is also available. Configure and review backup reports, that is also available, and alert is being added to backup reports as well. So that's all for the comparison of both the exam patterns. So I don't find much of the difference. Some things which are in red are being removed, and other things is like very important is the Kubernetes cluster things are being removed. So except this, I don't think or I don't see any major changes in the exam pattern. It's almost same. A little bit contribution is changed on the skill areas. So I will provide you the link of this file in the description, and you can also look into it. There is not much change I found. So that's it for this video, and wish you happy learning. And I hope this video was informative for you. So please do like, subscribe, and press the bell notification icon. Thank you, and see you in next video.